Riverside gets a pair of goals from Adrian Morales and records a 2-0 win at Harvey on Saturday night in the side's annual Battle of Painesville. This marks the Beavers' fourth straight win in the series. As far as the way the match played out, it's interesting looking at a pair of transitioning sides. A lot of the guys that we're used to from recent years, program staples for both teams in the last couple of years have graduated. For Harvey, guys like Jose Pacheco and Christian Moreno, Isaac Soto, Riverside, Colin Shambaugh, Joey Suba, Angel Boitis. All these guys are graduated, so that means that new personnel have to step in and perform well. And I think Riverside did a very solid job dictating large portions of this match, especially in the second half. That opening 40, you could see glimpses of it. The combination play, the ideas were there. There were principles of switching from time to time. That's a staple of the Beavers over the years as well. But there was just no end product at all, with the exception, obviously, of that goal to make it 1-0 before halftime. An unfortunate sequence there for the Red Raiders. They were trying to get a header out of the defensive third. It went backward, and Morales did well to pounce in there and slot a tap in to make it 1-0. But Riverside had room for improvement going into that second half. I think, generally speaking, with the guys that they've graduated in the last 2 to 3 years, they don't generally have the pace that they've had in years past in the side. But again, the principles are there, the ideas are there, and I think in the second half they did a lot better job of kind of dictating the flow of the match. They were certainly a lot more rhythmic into the offensive third in the second half. And that second goal was just lovely all the way around. I loved what Morales did really throughout the entire sequence of that play there. Making the diagonal run, first of all, to put Harvey on their back heels there in the defensive third, and then playing the ball out to Luke Hackney. Hackney gets a shot on, a nice save there by the Harvey keeper, and the deflection comes out to Morales. And a lot of times in that instance, there's a lot of guys. Don't lie to me. I mean, there's a lot. If this situation was presented to you, you would probably think this way as well. You know, the deflection comes out, you're like, well, I'm just going to hammer a pile driver here, try to go upper 90, just put a BB past the keeper and go that way. But Adrian was smart in this instance. Just hits a nice little one-timer, low 90 to the right, lower right corner. Nobody's there. The keeper's not going to get to it. It was just a tremendous finish. That young man's shown development over the last couple of years that I've seen Riverside, and he had a nice match here, to be sure. He had a brace and led his side to a victory and performed very well, stepping into a leadership role with the program staples that the side has graduated. But Riverside needed this one. I mean, after losing to Mayfield 5-0 in WRC play earlier this week, they needed to go in against their arch rival, against their crosstown rival, and get a result, get a clean sheet, and they were able to do just that. With Harvey, you can see the glimpses there as well. For my liking, they were overly direct. They played too direct. It seems at times when they were winning balls in midfield, they'd play one touch through midfield and then try to play that killer route one through ball to spring their strikers up top. And it started to get a little predictable occasionally with that, and it makes things a little bit easier, certainly, for your foe in the defensive third when you're playing those killer balls time after time. I'd like to see Harvey settle it down a little bit more. They were trying to get our area's leading scorer, Jalen Allen, involved in the attack as a center mid, trying a new look tactically, and he was getting some touches and he had some promise from time to time, but Harvey's a little banged up right now. They were without a couple of guys in this match, but you know, they've shown some glimpses here in the early going. Being able to beat Hawken for the first time in program history, probably right up there with that win over Chagrin Falls a few years back. CVC powers. Being able to beat teams like that shows growth in the program. So hopefully better days are ahead for the Red Raiders. Natalie has a chance to build a program here, and I'm confident that she'll be able to do so once she gets everything in place that she wants. But Riverside is the victor on this night with a solid performance to record a 2-0 win over Harvey on Saturday.